Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a best of 3 between in the top right here as our blue Terran player playing for team Macherino in this future. Man currently is residing in Korea and as such is playing a lot of these Korean online tournaments and performing quite well in them. In the bottom left here as our red Protoss player playing for team DKZ, yep, it's going to be herO. That's a picture of Zest that is spinning near his nexus. Very cool to see. What are you doing? Where's there no nexus or so no pylon in the main? Because the pylon is in the natural. So a low ground gateway. So we also have a scout coming out of herO here. A very quick scout, may I add. This is a rapid scout here. As future SEV is going to start fighting this probe. Probe's gonna go in here and go for a cheeky little scout. Wants to see perhaps how many gases there are. Sees the timing on these gases as well. Or should be capable of seeing the timing on these gases. Does not quite scout the second gas though. This could actually be considered a mistake. No, okay, here we go. We'll go in for the second gas and see that it is indeed mining. Future playing a double gas opener. A little bit less eco, but slightly faster tech. Wonder how I was going to follow this up. Future is one of those players that I really do respect in his build order choices often. Like he's a very smart Terran. The last of its kind. Oh, and as I said, that is about to perhaps lose an SEV. No, SEV will survive. SEV micro has not been great. I see some bouncing around here. Zealot as a first unit. This comes as a surprise to me. Why does this come as a surprise to me? Well, because you're playing against 2 gas, so there's going to be a full wall most likely. The Zealot should be incapable of doing anything. I am very confused as to what this Zealot might try to achieve. Like, I just don't quite even understand what the goal is going to be of that Zealot. It seems like a weird investment from my side. A very odd investment indeed. This Reaper now moving around did spot that Zealot, but I don't think Future saw it. Little bit unfortunate, otherwise that Zealot would have been completely useless. Now it might still hit this wall a couple of times. CC is going to be built on the high ground here because it is a reactor after Reaper. If you play 2 Reapers, you often build on the low ground because you have more units to defend against weird things like this. Reaper's just on the other side of the map. I wonder if it's going to get a scout here on the Stargate. It barely won't. Stargate is fairly late as well. Now this Zealot is going to pull a couple of these workers off the line and force a repair on this depot. That is something, I guess. It's a little bit of money lost. But this doesn't mess with Future's build order as much as this Zealot has messed already with herO's build order. This Zealot really don't think is going to be capable of achieving anything at all. Here we go. Tries to turn around. Adept is going to show up now. Future confident enough in his control that he says, hey, I'm going to continue chasing. Adept might end up finishing up here. I think it will, yes. Now the question is, what do you go for? Do you just continuously chase Adepts and eventually get the Zealot? Or do you go back home to try and kill these Adepts? Not sure what the correct call is. Tech Lab going down, so perhaps for a Cyclone or a tank follow-up here. As indeed, we do see Future turning around and is not going to get anything. So let's the Zealot survive. Let's both Adepts survive as well. As the first Oracle is now on the way out. It's about 7-8 seconds away from finishing up. And it's going to be a Cyclone, which is a very good choice given the tech that herO is opting for. Reaper plus Hellion on the map as well. Going to walk into these 3 Adepts, and that means that this Hellion is going to fall. Reaper might be capable of escaping due to the jump spot over here on the right side. We do have this Reaper making a bit of a detour, but herO can be tricked. herO can't be fooled. He finds it, takes it out, follows it up with a Phoenix as well as a robotics facility. So we'll be heading into 2 base Phoenix Colossi after that initial Oracle. Future, however, actually opening up with a quick tech lab as well. So perhaps it's going to be a Raven as a follow-up. Would make some type of sense. Although I don't quite understand how he's figured out that there's going to be a robo with this as well. That seems kind of wild. Cyclone will lock on. 1 Adept gets taken out. 2 Adepts get taken out pretty much for free, which is a fairly big deal over here. The Oracle, actually one of the only things remaining that can still deal some damage. Now we'll get 2 worker kills. Needs to be careful though, because there's a flanking Cyclone on the left side. herO is not quite aware of that yet. He pokes forward. Okay, now sees the Cyclone. There's no Viking coming in here. Wait, this is in range? Oh my god. Oracle is going to stay alive, but Recall does get utilized here. That means 1 last Chrono Boost for herO, and Future is actually going to make a push. This is not what I had expected when I saw a Raven being thrown down. Often with Ravens, we do see more macro-focused games. There's going to be a third CC. Is this a serious effort here? I don't think it is. But it just seems so odd to go there and not do anything. I also feel like he would... I think he would have actually been somewhat successful had this been with a medevac. There's so many Marines with this. 14 Marines, 2 tanks, Cyclone, Raven. His barracks are going to be extremely delayed. We have more depots coming down right now. Maybe he'll go for like a semi-delayed push without stim. And then try to throw a single interference matrix on his opponent's Colossus. That is a possibility. herO only on 2 Phoenixes. And this is kind of herO's style in the Protoss versus Terran matchup. Although he does bounce a bit in between the two. So either he goes... Well, most of the time nowadays, he really plays a fairly low Phoenix count to quickly get into these higher charge lot counts. Quicker Forge, quicker Twilight to get charged, to get +1, all of that good stuff. So we do have 3 barracks finishing up at this point for Future, who has a faster third. He has an okay worker count, but whose supply isn't really looking all that hot. There's a mine hiding in here, and that means that all of these units are going to be fairly damaged. I thought 1 or 2 might actually end up falling, but not quite the case. Cyclone now moving forward. Force Field's going to help out. Well, actually, not, as this bad boy manages to barely squeeze out of there. Will survive. Is this the first Colossus? Yes, that's the first Colossus. It is fairly late. And because of that low Phoenix count, sniping a Raven is an unrealistic dream. Stim is on the way to finishing. And if Future moves out with his army, he's actually been dropped on the head a couple of times as a young boy. I don't think he will. He doesn't have combat yet. There's no 2 medevacs either. Marauder count is simply too low. We have 6 gateways coming up for herO. So that's 7 gateways coming up for herO. It's going up to 9 right now. All of this over 4 gases as well. He will be capable of barely affording production on that. He'll probably throw down a 4th Nexus as well before these gateways become active. That is kind of what I would expect here, yeah. I like the order of operations here for herO. I think the way that he constructs his bases and the way that he kind of transitions into a mid-game is really nice to watch. Look at his vision as well that he has created for himself a little bit with a stasis ward, some with his observer, and we have a pylon here in the middle, another pylon here, and kind of far forward on that right side, a little bit more defensive on that left side, making it easier to kind of hold these areas of vision, while on the right side he really just needs a warning. It's unrealistic anyway to try and defend that pylon. Or to try and defend this type of area. Like, you just need a warning there. I think that's the correct call. Okay, 2 Templar are out, so the way to deal with the Raven here is going to be a feedback rather than the more standard try to snipe it with your Phoenixes approach. At the same time, we have a 4 Zealot Prism heading in towards the main base. This is fairly damaged already, just barely outside of turret range. And could start warping in if there was any cash remaining, which, well, there isn't, which is fairly frustrating, I can only imagine here for herO, as he will pop out of this place right now. Raven wants to perhaps throw down an auto turret to kill that prism. It's not quite going to work out. Upgrades are poor for Future, who is stacking into Ghost right now, has no Viking count whatsoever to speak of, and I think is pretty much heading towards a 1-1 timing push with 3 Ghosts. Although he's already moving out on the map. This is kind of a confusing move out of herO, as he's up 14 workers, is playing against someone without an armory as of this moment. So I feel like he's exposing himself to a lot more by being on the map. Future's gonna decide to come back home. This is always the incorrect call. I think once you're in a base trade, you can just turn back home and start fighting. These Vikings are being taken out. Depots, SCVs all falling at a very rapid pace. And with production behind it on the side of herO, that means that not only is this army going to be hard to kill, but even if you do kill it, there's most likely going to be a second army. It's all going to be in the main base right now. Ghosts pop out at the worst timing possible. EMPs will connect. And, well, majority of the army here. I think a recall might actually be in the books. No. Another big warp in 9 zealots. Okay, well, army supply is a little bit higher here for herO. And this is an overstimmed army already. Marauders moving into Colossi, dealing a lot of damage. GG gets called. And herO will win game number 1 here on Royal Blood. Second game here will take place on Dragon Skills with a very similar opener actually out of herO. Instant Probe Scout into sending this across the map. We have something different though coming out of future. Proxy Barracks opener. Double gas once again. Now this technically could be fake, but it could also be real. herO has no clue what it is. Is he gonna scout around the map? That would surprise me. There's really hardly any point right now. Because even if you do find it, it's still going to finish. So in my mind, you're just losing a little bit of cash. Like, even if it's here, even if it would have been here, which is the worst case scenario for the Protoss, right? This barracks would be at 41 seconds out of 46. Zealot is still going to start. Cybernetics core is going to be late. Very late, actually. That is a 6-second late cybernetics core. Now, a little bit of that is because of the very early probe scout. But most of that is actually going to be because he just sent this probe down too late, which is a huge blunder, in my opinion. Zealot now is going to try and latch onto that SCV. SCV, I think, wants to build a bunker. Not sure if it can, though. A factory gets built at home here. This probe is being chased by an SCV. And indeed, the SCV will have to piss off right away. One Reaper into a second Reaper. That means 2 Reapers. If you see a Chrono Boost... Oh my god, he forgot his pylon. Oh no, he forgot his pylon. What a blunder here out of herO. That means... What? He has one more Chrono Boost. That's what, an extra 38 seconds for the first unit to come out. This Reaper is going to have infinite time to run around. The second Reaper is going to come out, still have some time as well. Oh my god, Future is having the time of his life here with this Reaper. Look at the control as well, though. He's playing risky. He's afraid of the Adept finishing, but he had another 12 seconds to go. He had another 12 seconds to go. Oh, if only he had known. He only ends up getting 4 kills. Well, 4 kills is still a lot, especially after a Zealot opener. But this could have been 6, 7, maybe even 8. I mean, if that second Reaper joins and there's a bunch of damaged probes already, that is a huge deal. Number 5 is going to end up going down here. Battery does get built in the main base right now. We have another, oh my god, 6 workers going down so far. And these Reapers aren't done yet. Make that 7. And that will be the end of it because the battery ends up finishing. So a Zealot and a battery had to be constructed to deal with two wank Reapers, really. Still get 7 kills. Like, usually I already feel bad if I build a Zealot and a battery. This guy builds a Zealot and a battery and then loses 7 workers as well. This is, I'm not even quite sure. This is worse than the worst case scenario that I usually imagined. Like, this blew all my expectations for these Reapers out of the water. Absolutely fabulous start here for our American Terran player. Who's researching the mech field accelerators? Really? That's not an upgrade we honestly ever see in this matchup. It is so rare. Hellion also gets another 2 kills, so bring the total up to 9. 29 workers to 26. I mean, this is a crazy build order here out of Future as a follow-up. He's playing some... he's gonna cancel this, right? This is an absolute fake here. He's absolutely faking this. I do not buy this at all. I do not. Meanwhile, we have herO wanting to go for a bit of an all-in. At least that seems to be it. Is this going to be a Raven once more? I think it might be, yeah. Raven once more, double tank after Cyclone. So fairly similar opener as last game, this time with less Marines, and thus a move out is going to be practically impossible. We had a faster Viking as well. herO is cutting SCVs here. Cutting a lot, or cutting probes here. Has a lot of units, wants to move across the map. The question is Future going to be ready for this? I think we have our answer already. Yeah, he's pretty freaking ready, okay? Yes, his Marine count isn't all that high, and that sucks for him. It really does suck for him. But he has some high value assets here. He's going to have 2 tanks. He has a Viking and a Cyclone, which will deny Prism access to the main base. There's a Raven out, and God knows what that can do. Throw an auto turret probably, but... And I mean, 2 tanks is just simply going to be too much. Bunker being added in, eBay to really fill up this wall as well. And this is not something that herO can do. He can't commit to this. He knows it. I know it. Future probably knows it as well, as he's already started Stim as well as Combat Shield. Would love to see +1 starting momentarily as well. If that Cyclone gets the lock on and the Viking gets 1 or 2 shots off, that would have been huge. Not quite the case. Here do come the Adepts in towards the natural. We see an Unsiege immediately here out of Future. Loses 5 workers, which is a decent amount of boys to lose. But at the same time also kills 3 Adepts. Now, Adepts don't really scale well into a mid-game, so maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. But that's the first bit of damage here that herO managed to do. Cyclone perhaps in a bit of trouble. The control out of herO so far has been nothing short but fabulous. 1 Viking does go down. Cyclone is very low as well. Can we get some target fire on that? No, we barely can't. No SCVs falling, but we did get a pretty major SCV pool with 6-7 workers. Supply drop here. I love it when Terran players, you know, they look at their supply and they say to themselves, you know, I could just be supply block, but I could also supply drop. You know, it's admitting defeat in a way. But sometimes admitting defeat is the only way to win. As, why is this depot not being built? Why is the SCV is just idling? What's this? Hello? Back to work, buddy. No, back to the depot, not back to the minerals, you moron. Come on. This is very interesting, because herO here is transitioning into 2-base Storm, while Future is, well, not really transitioning into anything. So far, he's just most likely going into a bit of a 3-Rex pressure, has that interference matrix possibility, or will have that. There's 4 Zealots in the Prism. It's going to be frustrating to deal with. I think the Cyclone needs to remain, yeah. Definitely needs to remain. Do not want to leave that main base with the Prism that close by. Can the Prism see this? No, it can't. Barely out of vision range, but they can feel each other's presence. Oh, here we go. Zealots start to move in. Cyclone needs to be microed accurately here. Charge not quite done yet. Oh, this was nice. Good scan here. As Mine Shot doesn't go down, but there's still a Cyclone here. Yes, these Marauders are in a bit of trouble against the charge, but... Ooh, there's some good control, actually. Not good enough, though. The Cyclone will need to turn around. At the same time, we have a major push forward. Raven gets sacrificed. Gives his life for Ire, or for the Dominion. Marauders moving forward will force out 1 storm. 2nd storm needs to land. No, okay. Didn't land. Templar now are not around anymore. They have passed away. They moved to the Templar farm outside of the city, but we can't visit them. So this is a good look here for Future. But he needs some medevacs with this army, because they're running out of HP. They don't really have a lot of sustain in this push right now. Medevacs are going to work overtime for the next 35 seconds or so to just get these Marines and Marauders back to health, because they weren't doing that while the fight was going on. Another big stim here is seriously going to injure these units. There's very little energy on these Templar, and I think that if Future stims forward, he can just kill them. He's so afraid, though. And these Templar now are slowly but surely gathering more and more energy. And knowing herO, he's going to try and get a couple of juicy ones. A decent pre-split, however, should be capable of preventing that. Here comes the pre-split. Still a very damaged force here that Future is working with. But the splits are good enough. The move out of the storms there was good as well. And I mean, that's it. GG gets called. Future, after a fantastic early game, takes game number 2 and ties up this series. I always love after a game like that herO immediately switches it up. You know, 2 games in a row he opened up with that low ground gateway. And he went for the... what is it? The Zealot in the first game. And the other time it, well, didn't really end up working out for him. He's like, okay, I'm done with that. Actually opts for kind of a greedier approach in a way. So it opens up with a core first and only scouts around his main base. Saying, hey, I want a little bit more cash in the early game to beat someone as good as Future. Can't blame the guy. The last game was... ooh, what is this? High ground CC, really? Huh. What do you know? Huh. 2nd Marine? This is not a real build order. He's gonna throw down a factory here at some point. I think. What is this? What are you doing, buddy? Where are you going? 43 seconds, yeah, on the factory. 36 on the reactor. So this is kind of going to work out perfectly. Did the probe spot that SCV? I felt like they might have met. So it's going to be a 2 marine opener here. Look at this. What am I watching? Yeah. Okay, well, 2 marines are out. And then 2 Hellions will pop. And it's going to be a proxy starport. If I am herO, I am scared out of my mind right now. Let's open up with a robo first. He's actually pooping his pants. He's legitimately wetting himself. Look at this. Straight up batter. He's no clue what's going on. He sees a full wall, 2 marines, and a late reactor. He's afraid of being marauder rushed or something. He has absolutely no clue what's kicking off. He's too afraid. He's so scared right now. Oh, there's no pylon near this main base either, or near this mineral line, which means a battery is an unrealistic dream here for him. A Reaper follow-up as well. So perhaps wants to go with the Reaper in the natural, or wants to go for a bounce move. Is he just going for a straight-up attack? 2 marines and a Reaper to the natural for... Wait, a Viking? Now this I've never seen in my life. I've seen a lot of terrible build orders, but... My man, Future here taking the cake. The plan here seems rather obvious to me. It's going to be 6 cars. These 2 marines on the high ground are here to deny scouting, I guess. Oh my god. If this observer spots the 6 cars, that would be huge. Hugely terrible, that is, for Future. They're not gonna get spotted. I think even... no, these cars do get spotted. Now, based on the timing of them, you can expect 6 cars. You never expect a Viking, though. Did this get seen by the observer? I think barely, no. Here we go. Viking makes his way over in towards the main base. As the cars are out of position, Viking starts killing workers. That's a 1, that's a 2, and that's a 3. That's a 4. Full pull away as well. Follow-up is going to be a tank push. Hey, this Viking is just dead, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. Should have killed 2 more workers. Okay, here come the cars. Managed to kind of bounce by. And they will take out 12, 13, 14 workers. 15 probies going down here. Liberator as a follow-up. And this is the timing where herO wants to move out. He doesn't have a lot of cash remaining. Can he warp in? Does he have warp ins available? Yes, he has 2 warp ins available. 1 probe goes down. Insta-unsiege here. Instant unsiege out of Future. Does he have a tank at home? Yes, there's a tank. Bunker is halfway done, but he's so far ahead right now. Even if he loses a couple of workers, it's most likely still going to be fine. Bunker on the high ground as well coming down. 2nd tank about to pop. Okay, here come the Marines. Tank, sieges, and that is the end of that. That is the end of that. Bunker is about to finish up as well. 2nd and 3rd barracks on the way. We still have a Liberator. That is being active. Could move forward, but also could just chill for a little bit. Viking tries to come back home, will just get taken out. Starport starts flying back home. As these Stalkers now are looking for a bit of damage, and a bit of damage they will get. 4, 5, perhaps 6. No, 6. There we go. 7, 8 workers. All could go down. 1 Stalker falls. 2nd Stalker in a bit of trouble. Will get picked up here. 42 workers to 37. No 3rd base here for herO, who is struggling. Who really is struggling. Where's that Liberator? It might have... Well, it might have. It definitely died. Not quite sure how or when or why. But it died. That it did. Starport could be attacked for a little bit here, as there's 2 Immortals out. Charge is now on the way. And the question that I have, is this going to be a 2-base type of play again here for herO? Where you want to go into a higher gateway count before 3rd Nexus. Because there's just no way around it, really. That's the reality of things. I don't see a way for herO to survive a 3-Rex push if he doesn't start building extra gateways right now. Yep, there we go. Templar Archives. 3rd, 4th gateway, 5th gateway, 6th gateway, all going down at the same time. And there's just no cash right now for a Nexus. This Immortal drop took out a single tank so far. Just And it's not the biggest deal, but it's still really nice to take out a tank before a fight happens. Especially if your plan is to go into Storm. Tanks are quite good against Storm. Here comes another potential snipe. I don't think this is going to go quite as well, honestly, though. Oh my god, disaster strikes. Prism with the Immortals goes down. That was not good. That was not good at all. Medevac's over halfway done at this point. Stim is getting closer to finishing. Combat Shield is getting very close to finishing. Future's gonna push in and see the complete lack of a third base. Start wondering, it's like, hey, am I actually doing this? Am I actually beating herO in a best of 3? Sure, a ladder game you can take. 2 ladder games at separate locations you can take. But a best of 3, that is different. Third base is gonna be built in a proxy location. I love this out of herO. This is why I think herO is so good, because he's not above any nasty and dirty tricks. You know, if it's dirty, then herO has done it. He really has. He's the dirtiest of Protoss players. This tank is trying to shoot from a distance. There's only 1 tank remaining. So herO paid a very hefty fine for killing that second tank. Yeah, Future doesn't give a crap. He says, hey, this smells funky. Smells weird. What are you doing? You're perhaps building a third base somewhere where you shouldn't be. Drop is gonna head in towards the natural. These zealots will be toast. So that's 400 minerals here that herO loses. At the same time, this base, I feel like you almost want to let it finish in a way of your Future. It's gonna be cancelled now. As this teleports back home with a recall. We have Storm, we have Templar, but there are no upgrades. Third base is being taken here for herO. As Future says, hey, I could take a third base and increase my eco lead, but I could also do 2 supply drops and go for a 5 Rexall in with a couple of ghosts. And I honestly like that call a lot. It says, hey, I'm not great in the macro game against herO. I don't think I'm better than him. But I do believe that I can, you know, bring this game to a successful end if I all in. Mine shots are big. These storms are pretty massive as well, though. Oi, oi, oi. Future, gotta be careful. All of these storms are just hitting massively. 85 supply against 61. He's going to survive, but this was pre-Ghost. Ghosts were not in this fight. Where are they? They just popped out. Oh, no. This was not the fight that Future was hoping for. He's still up in upgrades. He has better eco because his opponent is on 2 bases and is Protoss, so doesn't have mules. But losing all of those units was painful. There's still a 30 supply lead though. Like, if I cover the names, I truly believe that the Terran is infinitely far ahead. However, when I look at the names now and I think back of that last fight, how Future kind of navigated that, I'm not sure how confident I am anymore in this particular situation. In this particular scenario that we're playing right now, a third base might need to be built. We have some long distance mining going on. Future starts moving out. He has 2 mines. He has a bunch of marines. That's a lot of damage output in those marines. So here's a zealot run by, trying to head towards a third base that doesn't exist. All of these zealots are gonna get taken out, that's for sure. And now, usually losing zealots is not the end of the world, but in this case, where you're not really out-mining your opponent, look at that income. It's like 1900 to 1900. Losing any amount of units without dealing damage is going to freaking suck. Might allow him to get a little bit more energy. Ooh, loses 2 more zealots, just kind of rallied into his opponent. These 2 Templar actually need to do something big here. They need to kill every single marine that has ever been made. Preemptive Ghost EMP here. Can we get a feedback? 1 feedback hits. Another feedback hits. There's no EMPs remaining. Templar dies. I think that one had energy. This one definitely has energy, and the storms are huge. The storms are massive. But is that going to be enough, as the mines are still here as well? 140 supply to 82. +1 is never going to see the light of day. And I think that Future might have just done it. There are no Templar remaining. If there were, this would be a real issue, because this entire army is completely in the red and the orange. But the DPS is just simply too high. Future wins game number 3 here against herO. And oi, 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 oi. The upset of a lifetime. Future, well, what rank is Future on our league lock? Let's have a look at that, shall we? This came out of freaking nowhere. Future is rank 42 in the world, and that is already counting this this particular series. And herO was rank 4. This is a huge freaking upset. the number 2 in the United States of America, with Neep not in the ranking as he is officially retired now. Man, that really is something. Freaking future. This guy's improved so much. And, you know, you look at his play and you don't necessarily think, okay, this is the next, this is the next Clem, this is the next Bonjour. But you know what he's really good at? Which is probably one of the best skills to have in StarCraft 2, is freaking winning. This guy just wins games, you know? Yes, it's not the cleanest yet, but that will come. He has the ability to win, and that is the most important thing at all times. And he showed it here. Fantastic play out of Future. Not the cleanest, but good enough for taking out the number 4 in the world. The best Protoss player that we currently have. What a guy. Future. Unbelievable. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.